Hello guys. In this video I'll be building this Porsche 956 which represents the winner of the 1982 Le Mans race. Now despite its modern artwork and shiny new box, this Italeri kit is actually quite an old one. It's based on the old Protar kit from the 1980s, and I would guess that probably is 1982 or 1983. I've got no problem with that. I think that's why ScaleMates is so useful. But I would be a bit upset, I think, if I'd bought this at full price expecting a brand new, tooled, high detail kit. And I don't think I would pay the £36 or £37 retail price that this generally goes for. And I think you can see the simplicity of the kit if we have a quick look at the instructions. First of all, we only get 3 relatively small sprues. We do get a nice colour call out actually on the back there, that's quite nice. But if we look at the build sequence, you can see that the cockpit has got just a small number of parts, an overall tub, some pedals, a gear lever, a seat and an instrument panel. Now to be fair, the cockpits of these cars are fairly basic anyway. But then we've got a fairly simple system for the steering, which does work. A couple of axles at the back with some simple brake discs, and then really the shell just goes over the top of that. We don't have any engine detail or anything like that. Which, as I say, is fine for me, but it's just good to be aware of that. One really nice surprise that I had when I opened the box was the inclusion of these Rothmans decals. That seems to be quite rare in kits these days. We do have the non-tobacco version of the decals too, so we've got the racing logo there rather than the Rothmans ones. But it was really pleasing to see that I didn't need to buy any extra decals for the cigarette advertising. I'll give you a bit of history of this car as I go through the build sequence, but one thing you'll notice is these really strange sprue gates here, quite thick, with quite a wide edge, which you do need to be careful removing. You can't really use snips to remove them, you have to cut them with your knife. To be honest, I didn't really follow the build instructions, but simply built up the sub-assemblies as I saw fit. Anyway, as I mentioned, a bit of history of this car. It is of course a Group C sports car, built for the 1982 World Sports Cars Championship. And the 956 was notable for its use of ground effect aerodynamics, and in fact was the first Porsche to do so. Ground effect essentially produces an area of low air pressure underneath the car, which essentially sucks it down onto the track, producing lots of grip, but without the drag that's associated with other traditional wings. The 956 made its debut at the 6 Hours of Silverstone race in 1982, where it finished first in its category and second overall. A couple of months later, at the Le Mans 24-hour race in June 1982, the Porsche 956s absolutely dominated, with Jacky, Ickx and Derek Bell leading the race from start to finish, and the other two Porsches taking second and third. Ickx would take 3 more wins that season, 2 with Jochen Mass at Spa and Fuji, and another one with Derek Bell at Brands Hatch. Those results would mean that Porsche won the Constructors' Championship that year and Ickx won the Drivers' Championship. The 956 was also sold to private teams, and there are lots of examples out there in really great looking paint schemes, many of which you can actually get decal sheets for to create a model in those schemes. The factory Porsche team won 6 out of 7 races in the 1983 championship, scoring more than 3 times the number of points scored by the second place Lancia team. However, by 1984 an improved model, the 962, had been introduced, and the final straw for the 956 was the death of Stefan Beloff while driving one at the 1985 1000 km of Spa race. At this point it was primarily independent customer teams which were using the 956, and most sources say that they had safety concerns around the car which prompted them to upgrade to the 962. I'm not 100% convinced that's a full story though, because only 3 weeks before Beloff's death in the 956, West German driver Manfred Winkelhock had been killed driving the new 962 in the 1000 km race in Canada. So I'm not 100% sure why teams thought that the 962 was that much safer than the 956. Nevertheless, the last race for the 956 was at the end of the 1986 championship season, which it also won. Back to the model, and you can see that while I was talking there, I've done the majority of the subassembly construction. There really aren't that many parts in this kit, and here I've primed the floor in Tamiya Grey primer and painted the cockpit in an aluminium colour from Vallejo model colour. We don't get a lot of cockpit details, and we don't even get any decals for the seat belts, so I thought I'd make some using some Tamiya tape. Here I've folded a length on top of itself to get rid of the sticky side, and I've painted it in XF7 red. Then it was just a case of sticking them to the seat with some super glue. You can see I've cut the ends of them there to a slight point and painted them in a silver colour. I know they don't really look like buckles, but once the glass is in place, you'll barely be able to see them. I did add a couple of manufacturer logos to the seat belts from the spare decal stash. I think these were from a 120 scale F1 car, but they look fine here. We do get decals for the dashboard, and additionally I put a few extra colours here and there based on some reference photos. I wasn't sure if this lip here was a feature of the Porsche or a design injection moulding artifact. If it was the latter, I would have expected it to go all the way around, but it looked a bit ugly, so I sanded it flat anyway. Equally, the tyres were run across some 240 grit sandpaper to give them a more matte finish and to get rid of that seam line that you can see down the centre. As you can see, the whole chassis is very simplistic, almost toy-like in the way that the wheels attach, although we do get working steering. I gave the bodywork a coat of Tamiya white primer, followed by a coat of TS26 white, and I learnt my lessons after my MP44 here and applied that white very sparingly indeed. In fact, I did it in separate passes, ensuring that each time that when I left it to dry, the paint I'd just put down was horizontal. And hopefully by going slowly, it stopped any runs developing, and by laying it flat, it would mean that any runs that did develop, hopefully, were able to level themselves out. I then masked off ready for the Rothmans blue. I did try a couple of colours of this, experimenting here on the rear wing. This is a Tamiya spray paint, I forget which colour, but I didn't like it, so instead I went for Tamiya X8, which is their gloss blue. That generally unmasked fairly well, and even if there was a slight amount of bleeding on the edge of the white and the blue, that would be covered up by the gold and red stripe decals that go down there. Now, of course, I did apply the decals, and I did film it, but I cannot for the life of me find where those video files have gone. So suffice to say that once the decals were down, and they did go down really well on that nice smooth Tamiya finish, my Porsche was almost complete. There were a few extras such as the wing mirrors and the aerials to go in place. I did have a problem with the screws which Italeri give us to hold the chassis to the bodywork. Basically, with them being so small, I couldn't get enough drive onto them to get them into position, and the screwdriver kept slipping, and I knew that if I carried on I'd end up scratching and damaging the decals and the paintwork, so I just left those screws off. One last mini disaster was waiting for me as I used an old can of Tamiya TS79 semi-gloss to give it a clear coat, and unfortunately that damaged the blue paintwork on both the rear wing and the side of the vehicle. That's a little bit annoying, but again I decided to call it a day at that rather than try to repair it. And there we go, that was my build of Iteleri's very old 1/24th scale Porsche 956. As you can tell from the video and the length of the video, this was a relatively simple and quick build. There are very few parts in the kit overall, and there are some fit problems with the doors and especially with the clear parts for the headlights and the main windscreen. In fact, as you can probably tell from the photos, those headlights in particular are particularly ugly clear parts. Despite this, I did enjoy the build. I think it's very much a case of just managing your expectations. Of course, the detail level on this is quite low. You've really just got the external bodywork and a small amount of cockpit detail, but I still thought it was a fun build and worth the price I paid for it. I wouldn't pay full price, but at a discount it's decent. I also like the fact that we get the Rothmans decals, because often you do have to buy such things separately, and that can add another £10–15 to your model costs. I'm actually quite surprised how big this car is. This is longer than a few of my 120 scale F1 cars, which really surprised me. Anyway, I would like to say thank you very much to all of you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I think this is the first time I have done a sports car rather than a Formula 1 car on my channel. I don't normally build this type of car, though I have built the Hasegawa Jaguar XJR9 before, just not on the channel. And I do have the XJR8 in the silk cut livery, also from Hasegawa, in the stash. And that's another one that does actually come with the tobacco advertising decals. Anyway, all that remains is for me to say thank you again for watching. Extra special thanks to my Patreon supporters and YouTube members. I hope to see you in the next video, and until then, have fun modelling.